Hi everybody. I am declaring the yard office to be finished. At least it's finished as far as I'm going to do it. Um, I can't think of any other details that I really want to put on it. So let me go through it. I'll show you all four sides and then I'll intersperse it with sides of the real one. Of course, in the real one it's not sitting level like this, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of scenery work around it. On this side, which is the side you're going to see, obviously I had a smoke jack, I have downspouts. Of course, all the windows were scratch built, just out of styrene. The air conditioners, I can't remember who makes those. Maybe Gold Metal Models, maybe someone else, but I've got some of those. That's a etched metal kit. The light is from Tishi Train Group, and I'll talk a little bit about those in a few minutes. That's not exactly the type that's there, but it's pretty close. Door frame I made, the door I made. The blinds are from Gold Metal Models. The electric meter actually came in that kit for the yard office, so I decided I'd go ahead and use it, and I just painted the meter part of it white so it stands out a little bit. Built the porch out of styrene. The railings are Gold Metal Models. Had to modify them quite a bit because the distance between the supports wasn't right, so I had to cut them and fit them and put extra posts in and bend them. But it turned out pretty good. It turned out better than I thought it was going to. So let me rotate it around, and actually let me just stop the video because I'm going to intersperse it with all four sides in between the rotating one. So I'm going to rotate it around clockwise. Alright, so this is the west end. Again, I had to build the window frame. This end, that window has a piece of plywood in it. In real life, it has a piece of plywood with an air conditioner. It has a little window underneath it, which is a sliding window. So it opens sideways, and I really couldn't build that. I didn't think so. What I did was I just framed it out, and I painted the inside of it white to make it look like there's, a window there, or there's blinds in there, which there really are, but I thought that's about the best I could do there. All right, so this is the south side. It's actually the most complex side, and probably the side I did the best job on, and it's going to face away from the track. I probably could have just not even done it. Like the back side of wherever, the face of the backdrop is just a piece of styrene. The back side of Miller Distribution is just a piece of styrene. But I thought, well, maybe someday I'll put this on another layout. And since it's a specific model, even exactly, actual scale size, I'll just go ahead and do the whole thing right. So again, I had to build the windows, build the door frames. The door knobs are just a prick of paint on a toothpick head and dabbed it on there. This thing here on the wall, in real life, it's like a plastic see-through holder for, I think they're boxcar tags. When they seal boxcars up, they put a tag on it to show that it hasn't been tampered with, and someone has to cut the tag off. And I don't know what they do with those things. I don't know if that's just trash receptacle and they throw them away eventually, or if they've got to turn them in every so periodically. I don't know, but that's what it is in real life, and so I just put that little piece of styrene on there. Trust me, it's not full of little pieces of paper with tags. My brother-in-law will probably get on me about that. He's on me all the time about my layout doesn't have enough litter on it. He wants me to have N-scale cigarette butts and stuff. So he's also always on me about having birds on the wires. So I can't figure out how to put birds on the wires and not have them just rotate down and hang down like bats. But anyhow, built all the windows. The blinds are from Gold Metal. I think it really adds a lot. Light sort of looks like it's lit up, but it's not. It's just again, Tishi Train Group, and I'll talk a little bit about that. That was probably the hardest part of this whole daggone thing on on this side anyhow, was that those lights. So now let's rotate around to the last side. And of course, yeah, the concrete's really thick, but that'll be buried down in the gravel. Okay, so this is the east side. Just had to, build the windows. It's funny because the window frames on the real building aren't all the same color. Like, on this one there's white, and it's got the brown in the middle. It does have the mini blinds on it, but on like you go around to the side that's over here, that whole window is brown. So I don't know if it got replaced sometime. I don't really know. I tried to duplicate it as good as I could. But anyhow, I'm declaring this done. I'm hoping the other downspout shows up. I didn't realize it had popped off. They're really, really delicate. They're on the sprue. A couple of them were broken. I had to glue them back together, and they're just, they're probably barely on there because they're so thin, so tiny. There's not a lot of glue surface to hold onto. So I'll search my workbench tonight and see if I can find it, because once I put this thing in place, I don't really want to make it where I can take it on and off, because I'm going to have to sort of bury it in the gravel a little bit to make it look real. So that's it for the yard office. I'll show you a shot of it once I get it all planted in place, but after that, the only time you'll be seeing it is during operating sessions. So I got a couple other things I want to talk about here before we move on. So if you have any questions or comments about the yard office, let me know. The lights I use are from Tishi Train Group. I'll give you a little tip on them. They're not exactly like, that are on there. I mean, the ones on there now it's really big. It's really unusual. It looks almost like a street light over the doors. That's really huge. But I thought these were pretty close. But they're two pieces. There's 4 on a sprue. I mean, 2 globes and 2 brackets. There's supposed to be a little nub here that goes into this hole, and I could not get it to fit. I mean, you're talking, this is super tiny. So I took a pin vise and I drilled this out a little bit bigger so that would go in. Another tip is to leave this attached to the sprue, the globe, and then cut this loose and glue it on there. You can even tape this down if it's moving around on you and makes it hard, because if your hands are a little unsteady or whatever, tape it down, makes it easier. So once the glue is dry, then I painted the whole thing while it was still on the sprue and then cut it loose. These things are really tiny. It was really a bear to get them to attach on there, because you're trying to hold on to a pair of tweezers to a round globe, and you're trying to work over the roof eave is in the way. So there's a few choice words flying around for a couple minutes till I got them on there with super glue. Hopefully they'll never fall off, because I will put them back on. These are the smoke jacks. They're also from Tishi Train Group, and they're not exactly either, but I mean, gosh, this is pretty close. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. And the railings, I said this is the railings from Gold Medal Models. So I had to, the posts aren't the right space, so I had to cut the posts out. They give you extra posts. That's what this is down at the end. They give you extra posts. So basically I cut one out like here, and I cut both ends off of it, both posts off the other end, and I bent it around here to make the angle on the yard office, and I put the extra posts in to make the angle up the steps. I just cut one loose and I just bent them. I held it with a pair of pliers and I bent the angle, and then it's all held together with super glue, and then I painted it. So that came out better than I thought. I was really worried about the railing, because I thought I could really botch that up. So that came out pretty good. All right, let's talk bridge track for a minute. The Kato bridge didn't have any bridge track on it, so I bought a piece of MicroEngineering bridge track. I got it from Pfeiffer Hobby. I called Mike up and said, Mike, I only want one piece of flex track. Of course, you have to ship it in a tube. It's 36 inches long, and the shipping was going to be more than the track. So I said, can you just cut it into 12-inch pieces for me? He said, sure, I can do that. So it cost me a lot less than shipping, so I really appreciate Mike doing that. So you see bridge track, the ties are longer and they're closer together, spaced out. This is code 70. MicroEngineering also gives you other stuff. These are the rails that go inside it to protect, in case there's a derailment, that's supposed to keep the car from crashing into the structure of the bridge. And they actually have marks. If I can get in and see it, they actually have marks on where to glue it at. Of course, it sticks out the end, a couple inches, and that bends in together. Guardrails. So that's really nice. It's got these bridge, I don't know what they call these, guardrails or something. They're actually wood, and they go on the ends of the ties. So I actually already have it on the piece I'm going to use. Let me pull it out here. All right. So they go on the ends of the ties like that. So I've super glued those on. Another thing they do is they give you, I know you've all seen these big bridges that have like the little things that jut out. Looks like a place where a man would stand. Like if they got caught out on the bridge somewhere, they could get off the deck. And actually there used to be barrels of water on there. So if a passing train dropped a cinder or something like that, and one of the ties started smoking, someone could get out there and they'd have water in these barrels and they would put the fire out. So that was the purpose for them, as well as a safety feature. So they made these little supports too, and I haven't got the back rails on that, but I'll probably put one on my bridge. That's a really neat detail to have. So I'm really pleased with the MicroEngineering bridge track. Once again, I'm not super thrilled about their directions because it's just like a printed sheet. And I sure wish they'd have some diagrams because this thing sort of threw me for a minute. When you just try to describe this, it's hard to do. But a picture is worth 1,000 words. I wish they'd have some diagrams or refer you to the website where there's a picture or something. But it's really high quality stuff, and I would definitely buy it again. As I mentioned in a previous video, I'm going to make a little diorama to display the bridge that I'm not going to use, and I'm also going to use it as a test bed for my stream, since I'm a little nervous about doing it. So I made it today. It's just a 1 foot by 2 foot. I used some 1x2s on the ends. I got a 2x2 piece of plywood from Lowe's, which I thought was 2x2, so that's what I made the frame to. And when I look at it, it turns out that it's actually 23 3/4 by 23 3/4. So I got a little bit of an overhang here on the end, but it's okay. It's not going to be in any museum or anything, I don't think. But the main thing is it's level. So just thought I'd share that with you. I'm going to start, again, I'm following Luke Towan's video. If you search his videos, it's how to make a muddy river, something like that. I'm basically going to try to emulate that. So I'm not going to do it step by step, because if you want a step by step by someone who knows what they're doing, go watch that video, because he knows a lot better than I do. So I'll give you an update about the foster dog. Just got him back from the vet today. He's been there since Friday. Again, he's heartworm positive, so they're treating him. Hopefully this is his last treatment, but we need to sort of keep him calm for a couple of weeks. You can see he's still skin and bones. Just trying to make him know he's got a home and he's safe and everything, and he's getting along well with everybody. The other dogs are getting along well with him. So happy to have him back anyhow. He's my wife's shadow. So I think that'll end it for today. So everybody stay safe.